Namaskar. I am Dr. Aarti Chaudhary, Assistant Professor in the Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology at Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University. I welcome you all in this 12-week course titled History of Science and Technology in Ancient India from Harappan Civilization to 7th Century CE. And now we are in our module 5 and lecture 5. The title of lecture 5 is Vedic Zoology and the lecture title of module 5 is Sciences in the Vedic Literature Part 1. As we mentioned, we have done the journey about the Vedic sciences through the astronomy, through the Sulba Sutra, through the mathematics, and now we came to the Vedic Zoology. The idea of the different animals, how the Vedic people mentioned their description about the animals will be discussed in this lecture. So, at first, the learning objective of this lecture is to know the classification of animal family described in the Vedic text, to analyze characteristics of different animal family, and to understand and promote ethical and spiritual respect for all living beings. In this topic, we are going to discuss the classification of different animals, comprehensive overview of animal studies in Vedic text, as well as the animals present in the epics. Ancient Indian literature reveals a deep curiosity about the natural world, although scientific classification as we know it today wasn't developed. Animals were named based on their appearance or behavior, making them easy to recognize. Remarkably, many of these names have endured through the ages and are still used in different parts of India. Early texts, both sacred and poetic, often reflect thoughtful observations of how animals lived and interacted with their surroundings. These insights highlight not only the knowledge of the time but also a strong connection between nature and human creativity, and the relation between the nature and the all creation of the nature is very essential for the successful and very impactful survival on this earth, which is also described by the Vedic people. The relationship between the man, environment, the animal world, and the floral world. So, the classification of animal is based on their nature. According to Rig Veda, the word which is related to the domestic animal, that is Gramya. Second one is Aranya, which is related to the wild animal, and third one is Vayuvya, which is the category of birds. Tasmad yagyat sarvahutah sambhritam prashadadyam prashuntam shachakre vayavya naranyan gramayascha ye. This is the shloka which is written in Rig Veda. The Atharvaveda also present two categories like Jagat, which is mobile and domestic category of the animals, and second one is Swapad, which is wild category of the animals. Classification on the basis of foot. We already said this thing that there was no any modern scientific temperament to describe the animal family, but on the basis of the looks, on the basis of their nature, behavior, the Vedic people divided the category of different animal. Then first is Chatuspad, quadrupeds, wild or domestic, four-footed animal, and the Dvipad, that is bipeds, specifically humans. Ya ishe pashupatih pashunam chatushpadamat yo divipadam. The reference is Atharvaveda. Now the domestic animals is also divided into two categories, that is Ekashafa and Dvishafa. In Ekashafa category, that is solid hoofed animals. The examples are horse, ass and mule, and this is also called Ubhayadant, which with incisors in both jaws, their teeth incisors in both jaw, and Dvishap, which is split hooted and hooped animals. The examples are cattle, sheep, goat, etc. And they are also called Anyotadant, with incisors only in the lower jaw. First rational classification based on origin, which is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad, Jivaj, viviparous, that is mammal group. Andaj, oviparous, this is born from egg. And the third one is Udbhij, vegetal, which is born from sprouts. Tesham khalveshanam bhutanam trinyev बीजानि bhavantyandaj जीवज mudbhij miti. The shlok is referred in Chandogya Upanishad. The Atriya Aranyak add one more category of living being, that is Svedaj, born from sweat arising from heat and moisture, for instance flies, worms, etc. In later text, this category is assimilated into the broader group called Jarayuj, worm born. Now, comprehensive overview of animal studies in Vedic text. Based on movement and traits, mammals were called Pashu, birds Pakshi, reptiles Sarisrip, snake Sarp, insects Keet, non-flying, and Patang, winged. Parasites were termed Krimis. The MacDonald and Keith listed over 260 animals names in Vedic text. Yajurved lists animal of Ashwamedha sacrifices, while Atharvaved discuss snakes and worms in detail. The Atharvaved mentions various types of serpents, including black, white, brown and speckled, many of which dwell in burrows or grassy area. These venomous creatures are described in detail, and specific chants are prescribed to neutralize their poison and protect against snake bites. Snake related knowledge formed a special science called Sarpa Vidya, showing the importance of snakes in Vedic time. As we know, the Vedic culture flourished in the plains of Ganga, Yamuna, and these plains are dense forest. They are very good, appropriate for the vegetation. They are good for the cereals growth. So it is possible that due to the fertile land, due to the dense forest, the availability of snake was in majority at that period is very normal. The Atharvaved describes 16 type of venomous worm, Krimi, believed to cause ailments in humans and livestock, affecting areas such as the head, ribs, eyes and teeth. Insects and arthropods. Vedic text documents 28 distinct species of arthropods, including ants, bees, flies, mosquitoes, scorpions, spider, caterpillar and grasshoppers. Many are noted for their role in damaging crops and transmitting disease. In the context of Vedic agriculture, these insects referred many times that the farmer should protect their agriculture, their cereal from these type of insects for the better output of their agricultural demands. Other invertebrates in molluscs such as pearl, ostrich and conch shell are referenced often in ritual or symbolic context. In the group of vertebrates, the Vedas mention various species of fish, reptiles including tortoise and monitor lizard, bird and mammals, avian species such as sparrow, eagle, duck and swan are frequently cited. Mammalian classification: mammals are broadly categorized into three groups. First one is domesticated animal, and they are cows, horse, elephant and dogs. Second one is semi-domesticated animal like mongoose and rats. And third one is wild animal, which consists lion, leopard, deer and wild boars. Animal behavior and symbolism in Vedic text. That is also mentioned in the Vedic text, because the Vedic people must aware that the importance of animal is also necessary, the presence of different group of animal also necessary to balance the ecosystem and for the survival as well. So in the group of cock and snake reference, the cock kukut is named for its characteristic crowing. Snake were described vividly, named like Datavati Rajju, touched rope, toothed rope, reflect their slithering movement and fang bearing nature. The second word is belief surrounding snakes. Snakes were frequently referred to as venomous being. The Atharvaved noted their winter hibernation. The mongoose Nakula has been portrayed as the deadly enemy of snake and immune to their poison by the use of a healing plant. So, the Vedic people not only classify these animals but also they understand their nature, their interrelationship with the another animal group as well, what they mentioned in their text. The observations of animal behavior. The python is frequently referred to in the sacred and mythological lore. Ajagar, described as swallower of goats. The quail is noted for laying its egg in the nest of other birds and is referred it as Anya Vapa, which means sowing for others. Vajasanei and Maitrayani Samhita mentioned this story. The spider is called Uranabha, meaning thread navel, referencing its silk spinning from the abdomen. Now the wild carnivorous. The Vedic text mentions several wild carnivorous include the lion, tiger, leopard, bear, wolf and hyena. Notably, the Rigveda does not mention the tiger despite its prevalence in the Harappan culture and late Vedic literature. The lion and the wolf are the most frequently referenced carnivores in the Rigveda. Atharvaved mention lion frequently, whose roar is compared to thunder and was very dangerous. Artiodactyla and other wild animals is also mentioned in the Rigveda. Artiodactyl species include the antelope, gazelle, spotted deer, barasingha and sambar. Other animals mentioned are the wild boar, monkey, gaur, porcupine, hare and possibly the polecat and pangolin. Larger mammals like the rhinoceros and elephants are also noted. The domestic animals. Among domesticated animals, cattle and horse held significant importance. Vedic literature contains a variety of terms to differentiate among breeds and their calves and foals. Frog and rainy connection. Frogs are called rain harbingers. Their croaking after rain inspired a Rigved hymn, comparing them to students repeating lessons and priests chanting after drinking som. So these are the important, this is very important example which is described in the Rigveda. Religious and cultural significance of animal in the Vedas is also mentioned, that is cattle, specifically cow and horse, were highly revered. Cows were considered sacred. Their slaughter was generally prohibited. Horse held ritual importance, particularly in royal ceremonies like Ashwamedha Yagya. In the Ashwamedha Yagya, the role of horse is described in very explained way, because the selection of horse, what kind of horse is eligible for the particular yagya, and after the yagya what is the role of horse is also described in the Vedic literature. So this animal is very sacred in the performance of yagya tradition. Animals played key roles in Vedic rituals and myths as well, used as offerings or symbols in yagya. Sacrificial rituals, particularly, often appeared in mythological stories embodying spiritual concepts. Symbolism and divine association. Serpent were seen as enemies of god like Indra. Birds were believed to carry omens or divine messages. Many animals served as Vahan, divine mount for the deities. So, basically, this symbolism is there is reflecting the Vedic people concerning about their animals. They want to protect them. That's why they generally associated with the gods, so the people can respect them and people can save them. Next category is spiritual and cosmological relevance. Animals were reviewed not just as being but as carriers of meaning in the Vedic worldview. Their traits were often associated with virtues, powers, or cosmic forces. Now, the animals in the epic. In the Ramayana, Chaudhary and Roy have provided list of animals, both aquatic and terrestrial. As extant in the Ramayana, they include commonly known animals, birds, fishes, insects, etc. Insects and arthropods, common type which is mentioned in Ramayana, they are on the slide. They are Indragopa, Cochinil, Kosakira, silkworm, damsa, gant, mask, mosquito, shatcharan, literally six-legged refers to insect, and vrishchik, scorpio. And the fish category, it is as identified by Hora, mentioned in Ramayana, that is Garra Mulya, Chakratunda, Mastimbalus, Armatus, Nalamina, Labio fembriatus, Rohita, Channa striates, Shakula, Valgo attu, Pathina. These are the fish which is reported by these scholars on the basis of Ramayana epic. In the birds category, they are Karandav, Coot, Kurara, Osprey, Conch, Pond heron, Chakravak, Brahmani duck, Koyastibha, Koyastibhas, lapwing. In the second group, Kadamba, purple moorhen, Hans, grey hermit, Shikhin, peacock, Gridhr, vulture, Shane, hawk, falcon. In the third category, Datyoh, waterfowl, Magdu, probably cormorant, Sarika. This species is not identified yet. Next, monkey and forest dwelling species, type of monkeys, Kapi, Sakhamagra. Sakhamarg is also mentioned in Ramayana, the epic literature, and that is Golgula, Gopuch, Indian langur type, Vanar, forest dweller, human-like, Plavaga, Plavang, leaping monkey, and Shakhamrig, tree dwellers. Deer species also reported 11 type of deer species mentioned, likely corresponding to real Indian species. The Ramayana makes references to several water dwelling animals, including the legendary Makar, a mysterious sea creature still debated by scholars. The Nakar identify with the crocodile or gharial, and the Timi, which is believed to be a type of whale. On the basis of Mahabharata, the Mahabharata features extensive references to animal, particularly serpents, many of which are also found in the Ramayana and Vedic literature. A prominent narrative is found in the Astika Parva, detailing the Naga Yagya, snake sacrifice conducted by King Janmejaya, a descendant of the Pandav. The sacrifice was intended to avenge the death of his grandfather Parikshit, who succumbed to a snake bite. Approximately 170 distinct snake species are mentioned in connection with this event. A comprehensive list of 418 snake names found in classical Indian literature, many of which are likely synonyms. These snakes are very important in terms to understand the zoological aspect of ancient India, because these snakes, the explanation of these snakes also mentioned in the later coming text in the context of ancient Indian zoological information. These snakes were used, the poison of snakes were definitely used for the several medicines probably as well. The mythological explanation of certain serpent trains, the origin of Minoan is linked to serpent counts consuming drops of halahal, the deadly poison produced during the churning of the cosmic ocean, Samudra Manthan. The story is basically related with that, and the serp or snake mentioned as a pious feature of the Indian deity system, because they were participated in this Samudra Manthan, and not only participated, they consume the poison from there. Now, on the basis of these all information of the different category related to the ancient zoological information, the conclusion what we make here, that is Vedic zoology offers a profound glimpse into how ancient Indian scriptures perceived and interacted with the animal world. Far from being purely symbolic, animals were closely observed for their behavior, roles in nature, and spiritual significance. The Vedas mention a rich variety of both wild and domestic species, highlighting their ecological presence, cultural value, and religious role. From sacred cow and majestic horse to rain bringing frogs and symbolic serpents, animals were integral of Vedic life rituals and mythology. The holistic view blends scientific curiosity, spiritual reverence, and practical knowledge, demonstrating an early recognition of the between human, animals, and the environment. It is very significant that the Vedic people aware the importance of animals for the survival of their successful ecosystem, and that is the reason the basic animals were continuing in the modern era as well, because they save them, not only save them, they protect them, and they give them this environment for their successful surviving. So, if you want to learn more about the Vedic zoology, then you have to consult these references, which will be very helpful for the enhancement of your knowledge regarding this context. And thank you for your patient listening. Namaskar.